Hello there, and welcome to the Geeky Dad Strike Back, Season 3, Chapter 8. And this is time for a very spooky episode of the Geeky Dad Strike Back. Right, full confession, I was a dickhead. We recorded for 3 hours the other night, and I didn't press record. So I'm really, really sorry. But you missed out on a great episode. So we're going to have to do it very quick tonight. Firstly, I'm going to start.
We recorded for 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Just so, listeners.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't record for 3 hours. We basically chatted shit for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Is what happened.
And it was a great episode too, and it's now locked in Davy Jones's locker forever.
It is.
It's lost in Uncle Dave's underpants drawer.
Butt crack.
Yeah.
His Uncle Dave Jarbu.
That's very good. Good fun there. Okay, right, so I'm going to jump in very quickly with a Halloween quiz, or horror movie quiz. Right, so, 15 questions, usual Geeky Dad Strike Back rules apply. Point for a really fucked up funny answer, point for the right answer. Right. Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's roll. Okay, so question 1, who was the killer in the first Friday the 13th movie? Okay, so first answer we've got is from Tim.
I don't know her name.
Yeah, I'll give that to Tim. Yeah, that's Tim. Yeah, one for Tim.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, I was going to say the exact same answer, so...
Okay, hold on. So, Tim...
I don't know her name either.
Okay, perfect. No, it was Mrs. Voorhees. Pamela Voorhees, if I'm being technical. I'm just going to clear your buzzers. Okay, question 2. What city does Hellraiser creator Clive Barker hail from? And the answer from Mike.
Massachusetts? Massachusetts? No. Oh, is it?
New York?
Incorrect.
I'm going to say Chicago.
Tim? Incorrect.
Oh, wow.
The answer was Liverpool.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. Clive Barker's a Scouser. Also, the guy who played Pinhead was also a Scouser.
Madness.
I knew that, but I didn't know Clive Barker was.
Yeah. Complete the line from The Evil Dead 2. I'll swallow your... Mike.
Soul.
Oh, I was going to say semen.
Correct.
Too late, you can't have that point for the comedy thing. You lost.
Okay, question 4. Mike Myers wears what mask in the Halloween movies?
William Shatner.
Ooh, Tim.
We all know.
That's correct.
I was pouring a drink.
He did it.
Right.
I'm literally pouring a brandy and coke at the moment.
Okay. Question 5. Who sang the theme song from Friday the 13th, Part 6?
Alice Cooper.
Fuck
Tim?
knows.
That's correct. Tim is on fire tonight.
Easy. Yeah, Tim's a horror buff, you know this.
Okay. Question 6. Complete the line from The Exorcist. Your mother... What? Mike?
Cooks socks in hell.
Not give you a point for that one. Okay, it's not the correct answer, but Tim, do you want to have a go?
Isn't it your mother sucks cocks in hell? Oh.
Okay, question 7. What 2 iconic items appear in Friday the 13th? Jason Goes to Hell. Ooh, Mike.
Your mum's dildos.
King Hell. Yeah, you get an answer for that. Yeah, get it correct. You get a tick for that one. Anybody else want to take hazard a guess?
Items. Is it?
I mean, which iconic items? So, I mean, the ending of the film is a dead giveaway, so you can get at least 1 point for this.
I actually know the
because
answer.
Because it leads on.
Is that the one where Freddy's glove pops up and drags Jason's mask down?
That's correct. Yeah, that's 1 point to Tim.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's one of the 2 items.
I couldn't possibly hazard a guess at the second item.
I know the other one as well.
Is it not Freddy's hat or something? Oh.
Chris?
Come on, Chunky Bomb.
No, go on. Do you want to make a guess?
Yeah. I mean,
What was it? Okay, well, we can hear you at the moment. What's your guess? Just hear blunk, 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 blunk. Flunge.
Like the sound when I Edward, I said, Dead. I'm going to say these acts.
Yeah. Okay.
But Tim actually buzzed in before you, so...
Yeah. The other answer was the Necronomicon from Evil Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, right, clear the buzzers. Okay, question 8.
You guys wouldn't have got that right.
What grisly fate awaited Kevin Bacon's character in the first Friday the 13th movie? Ooh, Mike?
A head in a box.
No, that's incorrect.
What's in the box?
That's 7. Chris?
Kevin Bacon was in 7.
Red on bed.
Was he?
Is he red in his bed?
No.
Did he get snapped in half by the bed?
Tim? He did not get snapped in half in bed. He got an arrow through the throat on the bed. Okay. And question 10. Complete the line from Stephen King's It. Down here we all...
Float.
Tim? That's correct. Tim is not fucking about. He's going for the correct answer, not trying to, say something funny.
I was Googling whether Kevin Bacon was actually in 7, and he wasn't.
He wasn't, no.
No.
Okay, you're thinking of Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, I was.
Okay, so, question 11. What controversial scene took place in the Evil Dead movie? Mike?
Tree rape scene?
That's correct.
You're probably going to have to bleep that.
Probably. Okay, and question 12. What name do you say in the mirror 3 times to meet a messy end?
Candyman. Candyman.
Tim?
Candyman.
Candyman.
And Tim's dead.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And question 13. Finally.
We weren't looking at a mirror.
Okay. And the final question. What toy does Charles Lee Ray possess in the Child's Play series? Mike?
Your mum's dildo.
Incorrect, but entertaining. Mike?
In, but I
it's like
didn't
Tim.
know what it was, so just forget about me. I don't know why I buzzed.
Chris? Yes?
Didn't the robot?
No. No, sorry, the answer was Good Guy Doll. Okay, so at the end of that quiz, we have Chris in last place with 0 pro.
I don't care.
In second place, we have Mike on 5 points.
Yeah.
And the winner of the quiz is Tim with 7 points. Well done, Tim.
Well deserved. Well deserved.
Yeah, well deserved.
You actually knew the facts, and I just made funny noises.
Okay, so funny noises.
Fucking head in, so give me some.
I got one question correct. The rest of the
yeah, but you bring the comedic gold.
Funny noises.
Moving on, it's this is episodes going out on Halloween. So, as kids, because we grew up when Halloween traditions like we have now, we're only just really getting started. What were your earliest memories of Halloween?
Who are you asking in particular?
Oh, okay, we'll start with Mike. What was yours?
My first sort of memories of Halloween were I was probably about 5 years old, and my mum used to get the the washing up bowl out of the kitchen, out of the kitchen sink, fill it with water and put apples in it, and we'd do bobbing for apples. And eating toffee apples and. We didn't really do a lot of going knocking on doors and asking for sweets. She'd just sort of do a thing in the house. It wasn't until I hit about 10 when we started doing the knocking on the door stuff.
Uh,
My mum was obsessed with it. My mum is literally a witch, though. So
Tim, what was your memories?
The Halloween costumes and the really cheap ones. Like, your mum would get yourself like a pound mask,
a bin bag,
maybe some of those fake little, the clear plastic teeth, like the vampire teeth.
Yeah,
exactly.
The
and like
glow in the dark teeth that never really glowed.
Yeah.
They never glowed in the dark, did they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Used to cut your gums.
It was we didn't really have the American side of it, like how much they take it into account, until probably 2000s.
I'd probably say I'd probably say more like early 90s.
Yeah, the early 90s.
But it really started going for it.
Mid 90s.
Huge in America,
maybe.
though, isn't it?
I don't know, like, I remember going out trick-or-treating quite young, and it was literally the bin bag, the mask. You'd have the witch's fingers as well.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. The Tesco top of my road sell those witches' fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
They were selling the Tesco top of my road.
It was like a complete mismatch of items.
But it's like... I remember
basically
having a jar, like a lantern.
Costumes.
Yeah, pretty much. But they were always the best costumes. The shit ones were the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a bin bag, and
you
that
were
was
cute,
about
weren't you?
Yeah.
Why's this laptop screen gone off?
Yeah, I mean, what I remember of it was, it was, you was either a bin bag witch, a bin bag vampire, or or if you're a poth, you were just as a mummy. But that was if your parents could afford to like let you use a couple of rolls of toilet roll.
Basically, in the 80s and 90s, what our parents wanted us to do was put bin bags over our heads and suffocate, because it was like.
Oh my word, that is controversial. Fucking hell! I don't know if that should even go in the episode.
Yeah, it should.
See, Mike has already left me with some Edison today.
Going back to the mummy thing. About the toilet roll.
Leave it in.
Fucked if you did that and it was raining. It's just a bad idea. Just covered in shoddy.
Oh yeah, you were buggered.
Yeah, just covered in mulch.
Yeah. Right. Well, I remember. I mean, we talked about this when we did the first attempted recording, and I went to America when I was 8 years old. I was 7 years old, and it was Halloween, so I went trick or treating. So I had the full American experience. I remember going into, I think it was like one of the first houses we went into, and went to like somebody's garage. And there was like a coffin in there, and looked like somebody who was dressed like Lily Munster, just like I thought it was a mannequin, just lying there, arms crossed. Next thing you know, so I looked in, and next thing the woman just sat straight upright. I shit myself, and there's a picture of me, and she handed me like a bag of M&Ms, and there's a picture. If I ever find it, I'll have to send it over. It's just me holding on to my poor mum, like like my life depended on it.
I remember when I was a kid, Uncle Dave used to drive into the street in his white transit van, and he'd have it all like sort of like covered in spider webs and like spooky things and stuff.
Nice.
And he'd open the sliding door on the side, and he'd have a bowl of sweets. And when one of the kids stepped in to get the bowl of sweets, because he'd put it like just far enough back that you had to step in, he'd slam the door shut. And he'd lock them in for like about 30 minutes or so, and then the kid would come out traumatized afterwards. It was God, that was spooky. Yeah, that was really spooky.
I didn't know where that was heading whatsoever.
Uncle Dave was the best.
Lovely.
You don't know when to leave that now in the...
I'm pretty sure that was funny.
I think I will do that one.
We've got to do with it, Uncle Dave.
I think you should leave both in.
I probably will, Well, okay. So before we wrap up with this evening, I asked you all just to pick one choice. So it's either a horror film, horror game or a horror book. So what? Now Craig's not with us tonight, but he did choose Resident Evil Biohazard on VR. So he told him that he shit himself. Yeah, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Yeah. So Mike, what was your pick?
Mine was Silent Hill 2, but because I've been playing the remake, I'm actually choosing the remake over the original because it's actually more scary. The camera angles were awesome, and a lot of people will be like, "Oh no, the static camera angles were really good and like fantastic," but Bloober Team really absolutely did an amazing job with this. They took the game and made it way more scary, and it's the same storyline, but it's bigger and it's better. So, mine's Silent Hill 2.
I've just been playing the remake of Resident Evil 4, and I feel a bit lost. I mean, it's the same story, but they've changed up a bit, so I'm still a bit lost. But I think that's probably a good thing. It's the same game, but I'm playing it from there.
They changed some of the puzzles up, don't they? And it's. I think that they've done really well with these
remakes. The game's
changed
up a little bit as well. Yeah.
But like most remake games really are so bad, but why are the horror games so good? Like they do really well with them. But,
okay, Chris, what was your pick?
Do you know what? For the life of me, I can't remember. But if I remember rightly, it was actually the first. Yeah, that traumatized so many kids, didn't it? If I remember rightly,
happened ever.
The thing that, like, the game that I would say would have been the original Silent Hill, because it scared the shit out of me when I first played it on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
And it was
the original Silent Hill was spooky because it was like pure fog. You barely could see anything. You could just see your main character, and there was way more sort of like fog than there was in the second one.
Yeah, it was.
And you would just run into demons and stuff. Yeah, of course it was bonkers.
It was good though.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that game.
Yeah, man.
I remember playing the demo.
Yeah. The only thing that pissed me off on the bloody last boss that you have to kill on the bloody carousel, I was like, there's got to be some way to save it and all this bollocks, and it was taking me forever. My missus played the game. She started it from scratch and then finished it before me because she just went in and blew her head off.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
She got the rifle.
I was fuming. I was fucking fuming.
I played Silent Hill back when it first came out, but I can't remember anything about it because I've never played it since. And that was like the original PS1 version. So I feel like I'm missing out on this conversation because it sounds like an awesome game, but
no, that's what I played it on.
Yeah. It's absolutely, to be fair, the original was literally, it was so horrific, but there isn't a remake of the first one. There's only the first one.
There isn't, no, they've just done the remake of the second.
So they jumped straight to the second one because I suppose the storyline's a little bit more tight with it. But I hope they do go back and make the original. I think they might, because I think Bloober Team blew away with this one. So I think that they'll be allowed to go back and make the first one as well. So I do think it will happen. But the second one was the biggest seller. That's why they got it.
And I never actually played it.
You've never played it? Okay.
Nope.
I think I played Silent Hill The Room. I think that's what I played on the PS2.
The Room was
a pound from Blockbuster.
It was
really weird.
Again, never played that.
You kept crawling through holes and then turning up into another room, and then it was just it was bizarre. It was
weird. Yeah,
it wasn't like a normal Silent Hill game because the majority of it you were stuck in one room, but it was still done really well. It wasn't Silent Hill 2 level, but it was still bizarre and quite good.
Yeah,
I think Downpour was okay. Oh God, I can't even remember all the rest of them. Downpour was pretty good because in Downpour, when the sirens started going off in Silent Hill, instead of like, you know the way in Silent Hill, like you'd go into another room and all of a sudden you were in sort of like the evil side of it.
Yeah.
In Downpour, when the sirens went off, it would literally melt into the other hell version of Silent Hill, and it was bonkers. It was just like everything would change, but it would actually do it on the screen. So that was really cool.
Yeah. Okay.
This could sound like a
Tim,
broken record after the all-elusive Lost edition, the Halloween edition.
Yeah.
After Ian forgot to hit record. Do you mean? Yeah, no. I think we should talk about that actually a little bit more. Like Ian forgot to hit record. What you should do is, in the middle of what you're saying now, is just reiterate that Ian forgot to hit record. That way, there's no way you can actually keep it in the continuity of editing it.
Try to get him back. Yeah, so my pick would be It Follows, which, as I mentioned previously, is a very sort of niche cult horror film, which not many people have seen. Oh, you'd never guess.
You mentioned this previously.
Mm-hmm.
When did you
only about
when did you
7
mention this
times.
previously?
When Ian forgot to press record.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
so
It
it's a
Follows.
very unique premise. It's basically a film about a demon that will follow you to the ends of the earth and take any shape or form until it kills you. The only way you can avoid a untimely death is to have sex with someone and pass the demon on to them. But then if it kills them, it comes back to you, and then the person that gave it to you, and then all the way. So the idea is to try and get it through as many people as possible so that you stand a better chance of surviving longer. Great soundtrack. Basically, yeah.
Like
it's
syphilis.
Yeah, it's an allegory for STDs.
But
Yeah.
so it's got a very atmospheric.
I didn't want to say the obvious one. Syphilis is like not that bad because like
Yeah, it's
nobody
got a
gets
very
syphilis anymore.
atmospheric and
That's most Gen Zs, isn't it?
We're getting cancelled now.
yeah, the soundtrack for it is absolutely amazing. And if you haven't seen the film, I recommend that your homework over the weekend is to give it a watch and let me know what you think.
Okay.
I did say,
so
like,
my
basically.
final-
Okay, wait. Before you get rushed into this, I thought it was kind of like that the snail that follows you all around the world, but it like eventually catches up to you, and that snail touches you, you die. There was a sort of
Basically they might move at a snail's pace, but
psychological
you've got to think that they
experiment
will
on
still
that?
be moving while you're asleep or whatever else. So they will catch you.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
And
right
fuck
in
you.
the ass.
Oh yeah. Oh, do you know what? Do you know how snails fuck? By the way, they have.
I don't wanna know.
No. They have what's called a dart, and they fire the. Yeah, they fire their dart penis into the female snail, and it like penetrates, and then they just fuck off. But it has the semen in it, so there you go.
Oh.
This is true.
wow.
You can
Well,
Google it.
on that bombshell, my pick is a film from 1980. It stars Robert Forrester from Jackie Brown and Disney's The Black Hole. It's a film called Alligator. It's one of my favourite films as a kid. I always used to rent it from the video shop when I was like 5 or 6. How my dad let me borrow that film, I don't know. But it's about a young girl. She gets a baby alligator flushed down the toilet by her dad, and it ends up in the sewers of Chicago. Years pass, and it starts. It grows, but because it's been eating like dogs that have been given like animals that have been tested on giving growth hormones, and it grows like mass proportions. It escapes from the sewers and it goes on a rampage to the city. It's quite a gory film. And one of the scenes that jumped out at me as a kid was the scene in a swimming pool. So the alligator's hiding in the pool. And there's a kids' party there at night, and some kids, they have little diving boards in the pool. Well, the kids start playing pirates, and they push this little 5-year-old into the pool, and they turn the light on. The alligator's there with its mouth open and eats the kid. But that year, I went to, like I said earlier, went to America, and I was in my cousin's back. We stayed with family, and my cousins had a pool at the back of the house with a diving board, and I was terrified to go near because I thought the alligator was going to be waiting in there to eat me. You know, you always had that terrifying like fantasy as a kid with this sharks in the pool.
Yeah, of course.
I didn't. I had bloody alligator in the pool. But yeah, that's my.
Is it not just
it's one of my
Teenage
favourite
Mutant?
films. I watch it all the time.
Is it not just
Or
Teenage
an alligator.
Mutant Ninja Turtles crossed with Jaws?
Yeah,
Well, I
pretty
suppose. Yeah.
It's basically the like
Suppose so, yeah.
It is fun.
these because like
It
the
is
start
fun,
of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, some turtles went down the drain, and they turned out to be ninjas because they met Splinter. But
Yeah.
I suppose this alligator just it met a shark
Do you reckon
or something.
the alligators
I
are
don't know.
ninja too, or does taekwondo or judo or something, or
Yeah. I reckon it does like Brazilian judo. It just sort of like sits on the floor.
capoeira?
The only thing that made Tim laugh.
It's the little things. But you know, you mentioned about obviously films when you were younger, like how did we get that or whatever. I think it was different times, wasn't it? Because I was watching Nightmare on Elm Street when I was like 7. I had an older sister and she would watch those kinds of things. But as kids in our generation, no one was asked. Do you know what I mean?
No, where the heck?
He wasn't, no.
I remember I was
No, I remember-
8 and bought Terminator.
I remember being in my nan's watching Hellraiser, and my little cousin absolutely shit himself, ran up the room because he was terrified.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah,
Me and our John used to like get loads of horror videos, and we watch all sorts. Like It, the original one, not the fucking crappy one they've made recently. You know what I mean? The original one was.
I don't know.
terrifying.
No.
Tim Curry was
The original
unreal.
Tim Curry was pretty cool, but the new It is actually fucking scary as well. I won't.
It's
It
not.
is, yeah.
No, yeah,
I was
I'm not.
laughing
my head off.
I disagree. I disagree with you on this because the new It follows the books, and it is more like the books as Stephen King wanted. So, I think the new It film is more scary than the original. I could watch the original now and not find it scary at all. The only thing I found about the new It was the Scooby-Doo voice that they give it. Because he does sound,
That's what made
he
me
does
laugh.
sound like Scooby-Doo. Yeah, it's fucking yeah. It's so fucking stupid.
It
It's
is. He's done a great job,
ridiculous.
though.
Yeah, Warrington's own.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
But I would say that, Warrington's own
Yeah.
probably is the GOAT of that movie, so I'll always have a soft spot in my heart for that. So, we have to cut it. Well, I've been Ian Duffy, and this week we've been joined by Mike Chelsea,
Hey, see you later, dudes.
Ta-da!
Tim Oakes, and Chris Jones.
Tatty bye.
And if you're listening to this on the 31st, have a very, very spooky Halloween. Oh, yes, my Undertaker. Oh, yes.
You won't get away with this, Skeletor. He-Man and Fisto are on their way, and you know what Fisto likes to do.
Guess what, you floating fleshlight? Joke's on you! We're into that shit! Now stay there like a good little prisoner whilst I speak to these folks at home. Attention, listeners of the Geeky Dad Strike Back. This is Skeletor. You can now follow them on Instagram and Facebook and even on Twitter.
Boss, don't forget, Twitter is now called X.
I know that, you ginger-haired merkin. I simply refuse to acknowledge anything named by a guy who's willing to stick his dick in head.
And Skeletor, don't forget TikTok.
TikTok? Seriously? They're middle-aged. Not fucking teenagers, for fuck's sake. Yes, and you can now follow them on TikTok.
Oh, and don't forget.
I know. Now piss off the both of you. Have a bath. My man, you smell like Evil Lynn's fanny. And Beastman, your fur is so matted from all the red rocket you and Trapdoor have been playing. Yes, I can hear both of you at night. You can listen to the Geeky Dad Strike Back episodes on Spotify, Stitcher, Podcasts, Audible, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. The revolution will not be televised. It will be podcasted. And remember, there are 27 bones in your hand and 28 if you're lonely. Until we meet again.
The Geeky Dad Strike Back.
The Geeky Dad Strike Back is brought to you by Studio Bristol.